Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Frankfort, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is. And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
What do?
I'm working up tears, Jay. What happened? I got a rogue salt. I got a rogue salt.
I wouldn't say that.
It was the second huff. It was the second huff. I actually opened my nasal cavities, and then I took a second hit, and woo! I'm an artiste.
You didn't try to cry though. That's the
Look
thing.
at you. You're crying a little bit too.
It got me. That second huff. Every now and then we snap these things just right, and I think they become twice as potent.
Yeah. Woo. Anyway. Good
Welcome
morning,
to the
everybody.
show, Mike.
Welcome. Yes. Welcome to the show. King, how are you, sir?
Very well, sir. Happy to be here.
How are you? How
We're
are
here
you?
with E. We've got E, but no nerds.
Yeah. Always worry that we're going to get off to a train wreck start. When
Hey,
there's...
Dick for brains. Why don't you put the mic in front of you? We're about to ask you how you doing. How's it going? And it's always
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't have anything.
Fine,
I don't have
I
anything.
guess.
I don't have anything to add. I didn't do much different from last night to this morning.
Understanding we just started a show, however, and you do have a microphone in front of you. It would
Yes.
help to have it in front of your face.
We're counting on big things from you today, E.
Big things.
Well, I'm well rested, so I guess that's a positive.
Are you?
Wearing the
Sure.
same clothes as yesterday.
Well, different pants.
Yeah, those pants are hideous, by the way.
Are they scrubs?
They're
No,
scrubs.
they're not. I keep telling you, they're not scrubs. They're just
They look
old,
like scrubs.
I know. You've said this 20 times. They're just essentially really crappy old dress pants, probably from the 80s or some shit.
Or the 40s.
Who knows?
Normcore from head to toe.
But they are not scrubs.
It's so
They're
intentional.
essentially dress
Yeah.
pants.
So intentional.
And of course, the fly is way down on them.
Well,
Mhm.
that's not intentional at all.
Well, we periscoped right before the show, and you called it. People were
Yeah.
asking, "Where's E?" And you're like, "Oh, he's about to walk in with his stupid brong halfway down and his dick hanging out." There he is.
And then he walked in like as if he'd listened to our Periscope and said, "I'll show them," and walked in with his dong hanging.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I don't even really get what the difference is. If you really look at, like,
Really?
yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, my
Well-
dick's never gonna just be hanging out of this.
I don't
Like
get.
that's never happened to you before.
It never has.
Yes, it has.
Oh, well,
We did a full discussion about you walking
Okay.
around all night drunk with your dick hanging
Okay,
out of your pants
one
and had
time-
no idea.
yeah, one time, 15 years ago, whenever that was. I don't remember how long ago, but
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, welcome to the Detroit Cast, everybody. Episode 505. Mike and Jay and Big E, as you said, no nerd here today, which is unfortunate. But we'll carry on. Not a ton happened since we were here last, except the Democratic National debate was going on last night.
Is this a real race? Hillary and Bernie? Could it be?
I don't know, man.
Is it that even on the Democrat side, because we've talked at length about how Republican voters and that side of things, everybody's starved for something different and outside of the box.
Mhm.
Could it be that just everybody nationwide, Democrats included, wants something out of the box? They don't want retreads. And this is them throwing their support behind Bernie.
Yeah.
It's kind of saying, hey,
Well, whether you agree with Bernie or not, and there are plenty of things I don't agree with him on, I absolutely believe that he believes what he's saying.
right.
Like I get the impression,
That's a good point.
which I like about Trump too. You believe that they're not so jaded by the game and they know how the game is played. And Bernie, I guess, knows how the game is played. But I believe that he thinks
Bernie really believes in socialism. You're right.
yes. And he believes that there's a lot of to his arguments about big banks running things and Wall Street, like that whole thing. Hillary, my problem with Hillary has always been and it's not a new revelation here, but that she will say whatever to get it's like, oh, this is the topic du jour this year, so this is where I stand on something. And
This is where I stand.
you just get that feeling, and it's like, oh, talk about career politician, someone who's been playing for this moment, this nana
Yeah.
that's been playing for this moment her whole life. And it's I don't know.
It's sickening, dude. Every now and then it hits me during this 1.5 year process of the election cycle where you just see a glimpse of either side on the TV, and you see this person talking so, passionately, and you're just like, what a dumb game this is. This is so stupid. This lady's up there reciting crap that she memorized and trying to deliver it in just the way that they practiced, and have that fist up at a certain point and to turn to the other person and drive that point home. It's like, this is such a game, man.
It is such a game and a play. You're right. There's a team of handlers backstage getting hair ready and telling them, well, when this question's asked, make sure, you really have to drive this point home, Hillary. Here's how you need to state it. Here's how you need to say it. And it just seems so fake and bought and paid for. And
I keep coming back to it. Like, who would want to do that? This is like, it kills me to watch these people. Like, really? This is what you want to do?
Yeah.
Politician? That's crazy to me. It's the last place I'd want to be on earth, standing up there doing that.
Yeah. Just doing your dance for these people.
Yeah. Power, man.
Yeah. Power. It's a dangerous thing. I thought that the one funny part towards the end when they were somehow Bill Clinton's past came up. And Bernie Sanders is just like, I've said before, if you've listened to me, you know that while I find his actions deplorable, they were deplorable. I've never mentioned them at all. Like, I'm gonna find a way to take a shit on Bill Clinton.
A little backhanded way.
Yeah, while they were deplorable, and yes, they possibly raped women, and yes, he's a pig on all levels. You've never heard me bring it up. It was like a Trump move.
Very Trumpian.
Something Trump would say. I don't care about the cruise thing. Yes, was he born in Canada? Absolutely. Is he a natural born American citizen? That we're not sure, but that's a discussion for someone other than Trump, because Trump doesn't care.
That's what the people are saying.
Yeah. People are saying, I'm being asked by everybody. Oh, God, these
Passive
people.
aggressive.
Yeah.
What a game. God, it's such a game.
Yeah.
But here we have Bernie, like, right there with her, right? Going into Iowa.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when that started, she was at 50% He was at 2 or 3. And he's come almost equal with her in a lot of respects. And there's a lot of people in some of those polls that they do out saying, like, if it's Trump, who's got a better chance? And a lot of people believe that Bernie Sanders would have a better chance at beating Trump than Hillary would.
Oh my God. This whole thing is just
comical. It's comical.
Yeah, but Hillary, like Bernie is kind of like, has the support of the white guy on the East Coast.
Yeah.
They say, once they get to anywhere Southern or anywhere with minorities involved, Hillary will just mop it up. So
yeah,
I'm sure it's a bit of an illusion. But I think that people nationwide, Democrat, Republican, are all kind of casting these early poll votes, at least saying, like, we're sick of the establishment.
Yeah.
Retreads like the Clintons and the Bushes and so forth.
I think I'm really pulling for Martin O'Malley. I think he's got a strong shot.
Hey, he's on the stage, Mike. You never know. Is
that the dumbest thing ever to have Martin O'Malley on the stage? Like, he sounds fine, whatever, but it's like these two are fighting, and then Martin O'Malley just kind of jumps in and is like, don't forget about me. You're both wrong, and here's why. And it's like, dude, who's going to vote for Martin O'Malley?
Seriously.
It's a 2-man race.
O'Malley?
Yeah, Martin's family is going to vote for Martin O'Malley. But why do they do that? What is the point?
I suspect that maybe the DNC sees value in having a third up there, and maybe it's a different dynamic to
has polling suggested this?
Yeah, right. Maybe it's a different dynamic and I don't know. I'm sure there's experts who look at, a 2-person debate versus a 3, and maybe there's a reason to have a third to bounce things off of or to jump in the middle or whatever it is. But yeah, he's right. Why would he personally do that unless he felt like he was, I guess, doing something for the team?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. And that's as good an answer as anything that I've heard, because it just doesn't, at this stage of the game, it's like, it's going to be one of these two. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, who would put money into O'Malley? It's got to be that he's just being propped up there to help the debate move along.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, the other thing that happened last night on TV after football all day was 60 Minutes with Sean Penn.
Yeah, Charlie's interview of Spicoli.
Charlie Rose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked to Spicoli. I don't know if you guys saw it. You saw it, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. This it was. I don't think Sean Penn came off all that well.
Well, he never does.
In the interview.
He can't get out of his own way in terms of just how annoying and self-serving the guy is.
Yeah,
he purports to have these great intentions, and he really wants to open, shine the light on all this stuff. And same thing with Katrina. He came off really poorly, I thought. There he is rowing around in a canoe, like taking people
in
water.
the way.
Yeah. Totally. And
taking resources and cameramen with him.
Yeah, it's just it comes off as just this ego-driven thing. Like, okay, dude, you're all about shining the light on this, but really, isn't it all about shining the light on you? That's how it comes off.
And to think that that's not going to be the story. How dumb would you have to be to think, because he'll tell you that he failed. I failed in my the point of my article, and it's not because he failed. It's because the American public didn't read his article right.
Yeah, right.
And so it failed. But yeah, it just seems very naive to think that Sean Penn is going to go interview this kingpin drug lord, and that's not going to be the story. That we're going to have a very serious debate. See if we can't solve this war on drugs once and for all. Thank you. Sean Penn's finally thrown his hat into the ring, and we're going to get a real handle on the war on drugs now. Thank you, Mr. Penn. It's just the absurd level of that thought process is incredible.
Yeah, his point was he wanted to do this because he doesn't believe that there's enough discussion about the war on drugs overall and in general, and how whether it's working or failing. And he's got all this altruistic bullshit reasons for doing this. And you're exactly right. Like, the story becomes, holy shit, man, Sean Penn just Spicoli just met with this on the lam drug kingpin, one of the most wanted men in the world.
Yeah.
Like, what a dumbass. Like you said, how could he not see that would be the story?
The takeaway. That's the big story. And so anyway, I thought Charlie Rose held him to the fire on a lot of that stuff. Penn said the Mexican government was clearly very humiliated when he broke out the first time, and then humiliated again when he broke out of prison the second time. Charlie Rose asked the actor if he thought it was naive of him to head to Mexico to meet El Chapo without somebody knowing about it. I assume they knew about it. Did you really assume that authorities were hot on your tail, Sean?
No, if you read his story, he was like, oh yeah, we used burner phones, and he talks about the lengths to which they went to cover their tracks.
Mm-hmm. I say so in the article. I don't remember him absolutely saying that in the article. Maybe he did reference like being fearful that some drone strike was going to happen while he's sitting there. Yeah.
So he wasn't oblivious to the idea.
I was stunned that he would risk our trip. I was stunned. Yeah, he's thinking with his dick.
Yeah.
That was what was stunning.
That is the most stunning part of the story, that Chapo was driven by the little chap wanting to get with this actress.
Dude, that's
how it all happened.
This is the story here, that Sean Penn tagged along. Remember, Chapo had no idea who Sean Penn was. His lawyer had no idea who Sean Penn was, which is hilarious. But Chapo was thinking he was going to bang this mediocre at best Mexican soap star. I mean, she's okay, but I mean, if you're risking freedom for that, really?
Right.
I don't know, man. But he was stunned that he would risk our trip. I was stunned. Penn told Rose that he regrets the fallout from the Rolling Stone article. Their meeting was the first interview anyone scored with the drug lord. Penn said he had hoped it would spur a broader discussion on the drug war. What is the point? So why do you need El Chapo then? Why do you need to go to the middle of the jungle to spark that conversation? Yeah. Why would you need? I don't understand. Like what? Well, we can't. Let's be honest, folks. As a country, we can't really get that discussion underway until we hear what El Chapo has to say about it.
And what do you think El Chapo is going to say generally about that?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I loved when Charlie held his feet to the fire about his failed interview. Just the interview topics. Like, dude, how can you not ask El Chapo about how he feels about the violence that's
and the death associated?
And even if you're not going to just charge him and say you have been behind dozens of murders yourself, but at least reference the fact that his cartel has and the effect of that and how that's happened. How can you not even broach that subject? And Sean's just like, well, that's the interview I did, and they're not me. And Charlie's
Yeah.
like, it's not, that didn't like come to your mind. That's not relevant to you.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Journalists are taking a lot of exception too with the fact that Sean agreed to let El Chapo have final say on if something was going to be left in or out of the interview.
Yeah.
Which is just like 101 in journalism. Like, no, that you can't do real reporting on a subject if you're going to give your interview subject, your subject matter, final editing authority.
Maybe you can do experiential reporting like
Right.
like Spicoli does, though. Isn't that the phrase he used?
Yeah.
I partake in experiential reporting.
Mm-hmm. Whatever that is. So I don't know. It failed, unfortunately, for Sean. His much needed discussion on the war on drugs.
In the meantime, he put himself in the crosshairs of the most dangerous cartel on the planet.
Yeah, and his ego is so big that he thinks the Mexican government did this on purpose.
Right.
Why would they need Sean Penn to facilitate this? Now, could they have piggybacked on something and gone, does this idiot really think he's going to come into our country and have a meeting with the drug lord and we're not going to know about it? Yeah. Really? Is he that dumb? I could see them piggybacking on that, but this idea that they set him up and to make him look like the bad guy and now risk his family. And that's the other part of this story that's so funny for Sean Penn. Like, dude, you're a Hollywood actor. You memorize lines on a piece of paper and spit them into a camera face for tremendous amounts of money and fame and all that comes with that. Don't think these people give a shit who you are. You fuck with the wrong people, you might just end up killed over it. You have a family. He's got children to think about. I don't give a shit about his children, but you would think he would give a shit about his children.
That was my immediate takeaway from this thing was, holy shit, this guy's in danger, serious danger.
I mean, honestly, when this story first broke, my thought was, if there was some way to facilitate that interview with the Detroit cast talking to El Chapo, as far-fetched as that may sound, I would absolutely fly to Mexico and do that interview.
I would not.
But I would not blame you for not doing that. I wouldn't go. I would absolutely go, no, that I could see where that would be so, you just don't know who you're dealing with. You're talking about people that behead people over territory. Like, what? How could you? That just seems so dangerous for someone like you to put your family in that position. Why would you?
How does Spicoli not think through if his assumption was, oh yeah, I knew that they were tracking me? How do you not think through the consequence of that then?
Yeah.
Okay, so then they catch El Chapo, and you don't think you might be blamed for that by the cartel?
Yep.
Like that you might not be looked upon so favorably by the cartel after you led them to El Chapo?
If you think about it, he's on the run for 6 months, 9 months, whatever it's been. And there are real discussions from high-level federal agents who are like, you'll never find him. That guy is gone. He's in the woods somewhere. He's in the mountains somewhere. He's got enough money to buy people off. He's gone. And so when you break it down at its basic childlike level, you go, well, what changed? Well, there's Sean Penn. There's this skanky actress that Chap wanted to bang, and whatever, doesn't matter who was at fault, who knew what. Maybe it was Chapo's fault. All we know is this event helped lead to this conclusion, and we don't have our man anymore.
Right.
Our boy's taken off the streets. You can see where someone could draw the very simple conclusion that, okay, everything associated with that guy needs to be fucked with.
Yeah, they're not necessarily going to split hairs and go, well, he wasn't totally at fault because of this. No, that event happened, as you say. And you could understand why they might not be so happy about
issue with that.
Hey, the auto show is here, and you know what that means. Fast cars, hot models, sweet deals for Detroit Cast listeners. As hundreds of thousands of would-be car buyers pile downtown to check out all the new metal, Zot Ford is offering you thousands of dollars off your new Ford. From now until the end of the auto show, you can lease a new 2016 Ford Fusion or Escape for just $202 with zero due. That's only at Zot Ford in Halley.
Did you see Chapo's lawyers, by the way, are fighting his extradition to America on the grounds that he won't get a fair trial because of Donald Trump. Attorneys are using Trump's comments about Mexican immigrants being rapists and murderers as evidence that any trial in America would be biased.
Yeah, okay.
It's in his best interest to throw anything at the wall and see what sticks. The idea that he's going to break out of a U.S. max security versus a Mexican one are night and day, the reality of it. So I don't blame him for going down this road, but
yeah, they still moving him around from cell to cell at that place.
yeah,
Good.
I think so. Yep, each night goes to a
So they
different
can't
cell.
tunnel. Trat, he's not in this one.
It took them over a year to tunnel that. I don't think they have to worry about it happening
Yeah.
immediately, but he is in the same prison before, so I suppose the groundwork is semi-laid.
Have to assume there's insiders who are willing to help for the right price. So
Oh yeah, and
whenever that's
and
the case,
the problem for them too is if they don't help, they run the risk of being murdered for not helping.
yeah,
It's like, okay, you don't want to help us. We were willing to give you $1 million to help us here, but since you're not, we're just going to wipe out your family.
right.
We're going to murder your whole family. How's that sound? So what do? You take the bet, you take the bribe, and you go, okay, fuck, I'd rather tip you off as to where people are in the prison as opposed to losing my daughter, my son, and my wife.
Yep.
So yeah, it puts them in a really tough spot, a pickle, if you will, Jay.
Pickle.
Mexican and U.S. officials want to have Chapo tried and imprisoned in America because of his track record of escape in the Mexican prisons, obviously. Trump originally, if you remember, his comment was, when Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their very best. They're sending people that have lots of problems. They're bringing those problems with us or to us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. And I assume some are good people.
You're kidding.
No, Paul, I wouldn't joke about that. Since then, he's called out Chap by name. Remember that in a few tweets. He mentioned, he said he was using the border like a vacuum cleaner. He's sucking death and drugs into this country. Chapo, for his part, he started tweeting, and they don't know because he doesn't have a verified Twitter account. El Chapo, he doesn't have the blue check mark or whatever. But they think it was from him where he said, keep fucking around and I'm going to make you eat your fucking words.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what Chap's Twitter said to Trump. And Trump actually got the feds involved, got the FBI involved to look into that and see what kind of danger he was in.
Okay, I do remember that.
Yeah. Kind of went away quickly, but anyway. Lots of death and destruction in the world.
Well, that's a usual theme, I think.
Yeah. It is a usual theme. I don't know what we do about it. But
I don't know.
He's doing his part. He's in Westland tonight, trying to make people laugh and bring levity.
They say
to the
laughter is the
situation.
best medicine.
Yeah.
I don't know to what, but
hey, I noticed this last night. I'm going to say it again, just because you are wearing the same clothes. I don't know if it's that shirt or what, but the doughy suppleness really, really is exemplifies by it.
Yeah, we all saw it, but yet I don't think you needed to.
Are we gaining weight here?
I don't know. I actually haven't.
Mike,
but
can you see this? Can you see what's
I
hanging
have.
Here?
No, I know. I don't think you
tough
needed
situation.
to point it
It's
out.
a hard to.
It's a tough situation.
No, it's a hard situation. I'm trying to still work out a few days a week, but the schedule is not easy. So unfortunately, I don't eat the healthiest.
You're blaming our schedule now?
I've been blaming it the whole time. It's not this. It's all of it.
What?
It's everything that you do.
I think
My
it's
whole
the
week.
beer.
Well, that too. There's three big factors. I'm not able to work out as much as I'd like to. You're right, beer, and then I definitely. We've talked about it. I thought a week ago or so. Like I don't think I eat the most unhealthy by any means, but I do eat too many carbs. No question.
Do you think it's your old age too? Do you think your metabolism is changing?
Metabolism is definitely slowing down, obviously. And I eat too much carbs. If I backed off the beer and backed off the carbs, and it probably would be a little better, but I'm not probably going to do that. So
you're right back to your old hot self, right?
Maybe.
Pack.
Yeah, I never had a six pack, but I never had good core no matter what. That's also a problem. I never did good with working at core. I was always good cardiovascular.
I'll say this, until you wore that shirt, I really didn't notice the pooch as prominently.
I've noticed
there's something about
what's going on.
Yeah,
what are you noticing? Move the arms.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no question.
I don't know if it's just the fit of that shirt or what.
Yeah, this shirt's doesn't help. But though it wasn't like that 2 years ago. So
well, here we are 2 years later.
Anything to take the attention off me and my weight is a good thing. So Jay, I agree with you. He looks terrible. I think that's what you're saying.
I don't care. I mean, like I said, it is what it is, I guess. I'm just
Does
not
your
willing
shirt
to
say spare tire?
No. Asshole, spare me.
Oh, it says all I could see was spare. I just assumed it said spare tire. I didn't know.
I haven't actually gained any weight in the last few months, but it does seem like it. I don't know if it's just in a different spot. I guess I don't know.
Pull your shirt up.
Come on, Big E. Is that all you got?
I'll pull my shirt up. Whatever. I don't like
holidays,
it. I hate
it. I think you let loose.
I hate it. I don't like.
I thought you said you didn't care a second ago.
I hate not running. I hate not working out as much as I wish I would. If I was able to run if I ran 5 days a week, but I still gained the weight, I actually wouldn't even care. I don't like it when I go a few days without working out, only because I like the what you get from working out, but I'm not doing enough. Running and still eating and drinking would not solve what I got going on here anyway.
Yeah. They need to make diet carbs is the problem, because carbs are delicious. You know what I mean?
I love carbs, I guess.
I
That's
do too.
the problem.
You use the crock pot yet?
No.
Mm-hmm. I saw your tweet over the weekend. That was clever.
I didn't.
What a crock.
Oh, Jesus
That
Christ.
thing was supposed to cook for you, right? What a crock.
Yeah. Well, no, I believe the tweet said, I was told you make delicious meals. You've been here 2 weeks now and nothing. What a crock. Hashtag what a crock.
Oh, my God.
Simple plan words. I'm trying to be more active on the Twitter.
I know. You know what? You're right. I'll give you credit for just actually doing something that wasn't.
It's clever, Mike.
You like that?
I don't know if I'll give him credit for cleverness, but I'll give him credit for actually tweeting something out, I guess.
What a crock works on a couple levels.
It does. I get it. I get the joke. Very familiar with the situation of a crock pot.
What was your tweet this weekend, E? What did you send out that was so brilliant?
Nothing.
That was so much better than what a crock.
I didn't, but I don't claim to be. I had something about the Pistons game, but it was nothing funny. I didn't make any jokes, I guess.
Hey, Pistons are playing Monday afternoon, MLK Day, right?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, excited for MLK Day.
The rare afternoon game.
Yeah, and also, actually, I don't know when it's coming up, but their winning ways are starting to get recognized. I know they're going to have a national game here on TNT.
Ooh,
either this week or next
week.
We're
halfway through the season. I think
know.
they're sitting in the 6th spot. If the season were to end today, they would begin the playoffs against the Bulls.
I'm seeing some smartasses, by the way, tweeting because you mentioned MLK Day.
Oh, no.
I'm observing it in my own way.
Oh, are you? That's what I usually do too. I saw some people celebrating Happy James Earl Ray Day.
Oh, jeez.
I know. No room for something like that. E. No room.
That's bogue.
Just reporting it. I wasn't condoning said behavior.
Can I vent on a different subject here? So we as media members in our media roles attended the North American International Auto Show.
I remember it.
Before Joe Public could get in.
Of course, before the peasants are out there today.
Yeah, so we got first look at things. Dude, we are getting spammed by that organization. We had the North American International Auto Show.
There was like 5 emails.
We are getting hit, dude. It is so annoying. It's like worse than the boner emails almost. It's neck and neck with boner
I get as
emails.
many North American International Auto emails a day as I do anything else.
Yeah. Well, where does that come from? Because we signed up for media credentials?
You needed to give an email address or something.
So then we hear, first weekend for NAIAS draws hundreds of thousands to Detroit. Blah 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 blah. Awesome. Don't need that. Nor do I need the boner email right next to it. But
what's the boner email right next to it?
Well, it's just about it's not even a real structured email. They just go in, it just pulls you in there, and then it wants you to click on something that's gonna
give you to a boner email.
Well, it's probably gonna be a virus.
Take all your money or some shit. All your information.
So please, if you're writing in, do continue this is not a boner email.
Yeah.
And we're getting all this whatever. I'm not gonna
what?
Just all this social media, increase your social media traffic to your web. Dude, we get so much spam.
I know. Yeah, those ones drive me nuts.
Well, when you don't, have someone fighting away
every day.
Right.
A prominent military member on full-time staff to thwart such attacks.
Yes.
We're under attack, assault.
Hey, Mike, we got to mention January 30th meet and greet at Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Please join us there if you would, listeners.
Yeah, I hope there's a good turnout for that.
Yeah, hey,
better be. I'm taking a Saturday night out of my schedule. So,
this is one. It could be one of your many stand-ups this year. We know your goal of how many? 80 some.
80.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to be? 3 in? That's pretty good, man. I mean, you're not on pace, but
no. Well, it was bad because the first week of January was tough because there was a situation with the new year where I didn't know that first. I didn't know if our schedule was going to officially change or not, so I didn't set any up for that first week just in case or something. So. We'll see.
If when people come out, will you show them your famous bar trick, E, of filling up a bottle with urine and drinking it for people that show up?
The two people at Twin Peaks would be too happy with that.
Well, ownership is used to you hanging your nards out.
Yeah, they've seen that before.
Yeah,
they can't fire you. You technically don't work there. So
I guess that's true.
I mean, it could be like an end of the night stunt where even if they grab you by the scruff and toss you on your face.
It'd
It's
be
like,
worth it.
yeah.
I guess I won't say that it won't happen.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm sure some heads could be turned to look the other way while that stunt was going
I suppose
on.
I could just go to the bathroom and then just walk out with it.
Yeah, but then
No,
people
then
are
there'd
going to
always
say,
be a question. Is it really
Yeah.
his urine?
You'd be able to tell. I'd let you smell it if you want to question it.
anyone want to taste it first to prove that it's in fact
If you're gonna really see, trust me, if you see a cup of urine, you'll be able to tell that it's not a Corona or like a Bud Light.
Yeah. All right. Something to look forward to for folks that come out there. Might see something special that night.
Speaking of Twin Peaks, at Twin Peaks, you'll find the best kitchen in sports, making everything from scratch and a beer selection ranging from local crafts to their famous 29-degree drafts. Try any of their made-from-scratch teasers like the Peak Sampler, which includes fried pickles, mozzarella bites, and buffalo tenders. Visit Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge, to watch your favorite college and professional football games.
Hopefully the family doesn't have to put him on the lifetime ban list like he's on for employment.
Yeah, for Red Robin, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Lifetime ban list.
Pull up his name, and there's a big red X through him.
Do not hire this man. There's E standing there with his floppy dick in his hands. He's on the permanent no hire list. Could end up getting yourself put on the permanent no admission list too.
You're right. I
But
mean,
it's a risk Jay and I are willing to take, I think.
Yes, for the record.
Yeah. So I don't know.
well,
We'll see as we get closer.
if it will put the show over the top, I guess.
We got a New Hampshire school board official. He's been banned from school property. No,
That'll
he
be hard to
wasn't,
get
he
his
wasn't
job done.
fingering students and he wasn't jacking students off. Nothing like that. However, he was discussing how he would carry out a mass shooting during a budget meeting.
Nice.
I'm kind of on Jorge's side on this one. I got to be honest with you.
What's going on? The budget meeting's going on. He's just like, I want to sometimes I just want to come in here and just kill everyone in here.
No,
No,
he's like, he's an insider, right? So he knows the workings. He's like, I'd do it this way.
Yeah. Jorge Tejada, he's a member of the Hampstead School Advisory Budget Committee. He said he would hide in the woods behind the school and wait for recess.
Good move, Jorge.
Yep. He's a former Marine. He was debating constructing new classrooms at the school and addressing fears that exterior buildings left children vulnerable in the event of a shooting. The issue of safety for students going from the portables to the main building was emphasized based on today's situation that we may have snipers anywhere shooting people. So are portables,
I think those are those trailers.
Yeah.
yeah, where do they set up classrooms in those
Yes,
things? They do?
Yes.
I know
Like
they
a
did that at Greater
overflow.
Media for a while where they had some set up for new, more employees and stuff. But
Mobile home looking things.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
pop them down.
he said, well, that is true. It could happen. But based on my Marine Corps training, if I wanted to really do harm, I would do it when they went from the portables. I would not do it when they went from the portables to the main building. I would wait until recess. I would hide in the woods behind them, and I would have a field day. This is an absurd situation. It makes no sense. Another man says, no more, no more. Like,
By the
shut
way-
that conversation down.
Well, no
Is this
offense,
all on
but
like public access TV?
Maybe. I'm
One
not
of
sure. It
these
doesn't
deals?
say. It might have been closed circuit, but
the funny thing is, what is he saying that anyone wouldn't know anyway? Like, recess would be the best time to start popping kids.
He must have like had some certain vigor to his
Right.
explanation, you know?
Oh,
it was like he was hard. He was
Yeah.
getting hard, and they could see
Yeah.
it.
I would hide in the woods and then I'd just pick them off.
All them sons of bitches. Pulled out a fake gun.
It had to
Just start
be, right?
Fucking plugging them all.
Right?
God damn it. There he is.
Because otherwise it's not like totally unreasonable for somebody to just throw that out. Like, look, they're
Yeah, we
Well,
can try
this-
all you want with the walking back and forth,
yeah,
but we
there's
have
still
recess.
danger here. And
Yeah, if you think about it, if someone was making the argument that you've got a trailer that you house a bunch of third grade class in or something, and between that trailer and the main building is a walkway, and if someone says, well, they're a target for possible snipers if in that walkway,
yeah,
his point is, wait a minute, if you really wanted to do mass casualties, the way you would do it is hide in the woods where all the kids are at once, and then you just come out guns a-blazing.
Right.
see your delivery, that was appropriate. So it's all in the delivery. It
Yeah.
had to have been like, yeah,
Here's what I would. Here's what I'm gonna. I mean, I
set
would
up a
do.
tree stand and just pick them off. Their heads would be like watermelons. Had to be like that.
No more. No
Yeah.
more.
Or hey,
No more. No more.
So in a letter, Tejada was condemned by the superintendent, Earl Metzler. We all know Earl Metzler. He gets all hard
Sure.
about this too. He got all hot about it. And the school board chairman, Jason Cipriano, In this letter, they wrote, "We take seriously these offensive and disgusting statements made by Mr. Tejada and wholeheartedly denounce his behavior and blatant display of disregard for our children and their safety. I couldn't even begin to explain how someone goes from a discussion about a bond article and talking about the construction at the school to detailing how we would commit a mass shooting.
Oh, God.
Disturbing, disgusting, and outraged we are. Some emotions that come to mind."
See, the thing is go ahead.
Both as a parent of children in the school district and as a superintendent, he's now been banned from the school property. What are you going to say?
There's got to be more to it, right?
It has to be how he said it or stuff about him, because
Or they've hated him forever and they're just looking for a reason.
That's exactly what I thought.
The reality is he's not. No matter what he's saying is like is everyone would
There's
know
a
that.
reasonable way to express that.
Right.
Yes, like it's not so out of the realm that you would be like, oh my God.
Like if you fired him, if you were firing him or banning him or whatever, just based on, I can't believe he would even think that this could happen or saying that.
Yeah, I mean,
it.
if your point was simply like, because it sounds like they're fighting over budget issues, you're talking about money, and if someone's raising that argument, I think it is inbounds for him to say, hey, look, if that's the way someone was going to do it, they're not going to. This isn't the problem. This is not the reason why you don't build this trailer off site, because you're worried about the 2-second walk the kids make from said trailer back into the school building. That's absurd. If someone was going to do that, don't you think they would wait for an opportune moment to do it? But yeah, however he explained that, we're not sure.
Or his past, obviously, or something.
And honestly, I mean, if I were going to do a mass shooting, I think if you're already in the school grounds, like,
it's not a bad idea.
Well, his idea is good if you're not in the system. Now, if Jorge were going to do it himself, I think you wait for an assembly, and then you can just walk up and chain the main doors shut, and then you kind of walk in and you're at the other exit, because there's usually 2 exits to those buildings. Now you've got them all in one spot, and it's go time.
I disagree.
You're right. No, he's right on the assembly, because you've got everybody there.
Run away.
The assembly is genius.
Yeah,
I disagree, man.
Why?
You lock one main door and your back's to the other main door. They got to come through.
Way too harder to get into an assembly. Schools now.
But if you're on school grounds already, if we're talking about Jorge himself, he's already got the credentials to get in.
Okay.
And honestly, I've had a little experience recently with entering school zones.
And it's not as hard as you think.
Yeah.
No, I know it's not as I understand that, but I guess you're right.
Locked down as you think.
If you work there, I still think also that would be like a movie theater situation where people, I don't know, like it's harder than you think because they're on different levels. You're on the freaking recess.
Just because you're a shit shot, don't act like we're all shit.
I'm talking about the people that we've had recently shoot people in theaters.
I think you're onto something. I think you've got the risers pulled out in the gym. You've got all the kids sitting there.
Yeah.
They're ready to watch the magic show that's about to start on the gym floor.
The lights go down.
You've locked the side doors. You come in the other doors, guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
You got hundreds.
Sitting ducks who can't move. At recess,
you got no. That's the other thing. You have there's other teachers.
Plus, you got those big cement pipes you could hide in. Kids could hide. Kids could get away.
You're gonna have
little rabbits.
You're gonna have a sniper, dude. You'll snipe them and just.
Sniper is so 1996, dude. You're popping off one round at a time.
You're gonna have someone on you much faster at an assembly. There'll be much more likelihood that someone will get on you and stop you. You'll have more time outside.
You're operationally inept, dude. This is a no-brainer.
I don't really
like the assembly versus an open schoolyard. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, open schoolyard. Those kids are quick, believe it or not. I think they can make a dart. Yeah, you'll take 10 or 12 out, but majority of them are going to get away. I think, giving yourself the proper time to set up shop. Maybe you lead with a grenade. I'm not telling anyone how to do their.
You could do that in recess too, but.
You cannot lead with a grenade. What are you going to do? I mean,
isn't even arguable, E.
Well,
you're talking about taking the same yard of kids and boxing them into a 50 by 50 room. It's a no-brainer. No-brainer. I think that's where Tejada went wrong in his discussion points. I think who's going to take him seriously is the guy, the authority. I would expect more from a Marine. So anyway, he's been banned from the school grounds. I don't know. I need more to that story, because I think you're absolutely right, Jay. This sounds like people disgruntled with other people.
It's a political position, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that he has people who don't like him, and he's ruffled some feathers in the past, and they're like, oh, "Did you hear what he? Oh, that's enough. He's gone.
Yeah, no more, no more, no more.
Can you imagine some guy? Yeah, no, like he's
no more, no more."
Or he's probably like, whatever, fine. I get to spend these evenings with my family instead of coming to your stupid ass meetings.
Yeah. Tejada. Come on, Jorge.
You're better off, Jorge.
Yeah, you are. Enjoy your time off. We haven't really covered the Oscars that are coming up when? February 28th, maybe? Something like that.
I don't know. I didn't realize. I forget that they're already coming up, I guess.
The only time I think of them is it's when the Golden Globes come. That's always like the precursor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like Oscars wouldn't even be on my radar at all.
Well, we're getting more. I don't know if you guys have noticed the hashtag that's gone around. Oscars so white.
I have
hashtag Oscars so
heard
white.
of that.
Yeah. Which is hilarious, but
it's got a lot of
with Chris Rock hosting, by the way.
Yeah, right, right.
It's had a lot of steam last year and the year prior, right? I mean, this has been
last year or is it 2 years ago and this year?
Probably
something like that.
Because what was the year where the Martin Luther King movie came out?
Was that that might have been last year? Selma, yes.
Yeah, and there was outrage that didn't get more.
The director. I didn't see that movie. I don't know if you guys saw that movie.
No,
did you ever see it? E?
No, I never did.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure it was fine, but I haven't seen it. Jada Pinkett Smith. I can't even hear the name without wanting to punch her in the face.
Doesn't it, right?
Will, her kids, like all of them, just all of them need to be gone as far as I'm concerned. But she's the latest celebrity to weigh in on the.
What has she done lately?
Well, she
did Jada Pinkett Smith. What has she done, huh?
She was in the big Fox show, the about the Batman.
Oh, Gotham.
Yeah. Yep. She was one of the.
Kicked, I thought she got fired from it or something. Though.
She might have. She was in the first. I only saw the first 3/4 of season 1 or half of season 1, and she was in that, and she was fine. She played one of the villains running a bar. I can't remember which villain she played, Poison Ivy or I don't know, whichever. But she's taken issue with the controversy that erupted over the weekend, and hence the hashtag Oscars so white. She took to social media over the weekend to ask if minorities should boycott the awards ceremony now. At the Oscars, people of color are always welcome to give out awards, even entertain, but we are rarely recognized for our artistic achievements. Should people of color refrain from participating altogether? People only treat us in the way in which we allow, with much respect in the midst of deep disappointment. Jay. The controversy first emerged, it was last year when many artists blasted the Academy for failing to recognize Selma's director, Ava DuVernay, and their actor. I think the problem with this actor is nobody can pronounce his name. David Oyelowo, that guy.
Yeah, they can't have them up there not knowing how to say the name.
Yeah, that's an embarrassment to everybody if you can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, didn't someone really screw up a name last year? Travolta or something? One of the
butchered someone's name. It was terrible.
Yeah, you saw how that played. That nobody wants to be in that position.
After this year's nominations were announced, the controversy was renewed again when critics pointed out that films like Straight Outta Compton, Concussion, Beasts of No Nation, and Creed had failed to secure any nominations for the minority cast and crew members.
I know you liked Creed.
No,
really,
God, no. Out of those,
critically
Oscar,
acclaimed.
no, I saw it too.
No, I did like it, but no chance in hell should that be up for an Oscar in any capacity.
NWA,
dude, loved it. Biopic.
Okay,
it was a good version of a behind the music.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest. Oscar-worthy performance. Go watch The Revenant and tell me that and honestly, if any actor from the NWA movie deserved any sort of nod, a supporting role, it's Paul Giamatti anyways. As the manager of NWA. And he's white, unfortunately. I mean, what do you give it to the soundtrack? I mean, you just basically took NWA's catalog and sprinkled it throughout. I mean, it's a great movie. I recommend seeing it. I enjoyed it. E liked it. But Oscars, really? Concussion.
I heard it sucked. I heard it was boring.
It's not Oscar worthy.
Yeah.
I mean, in my humble opinion, it's okay. But I thought they could have done way more with that movie. There was nothing like I don't know. I just didn't feel like it hit the mark it was going for. I didn't think Will Smith was over the top amazing in it. I mean, he was just, it is what it is. It was a decent movie, but to act like they were snubbed somehow by the Oscars is ridiculous. If anything, I think it'd be a disservice to include them simply because they've got black actors involved.
Well, there you go.
That's
you just
even
water down the whole thing by just,
we have to include some.
Let's force one in here.
Yeah, that seems more criminal to me than anything. It should be based on the work. And in my humble opinion, I didn't think either of those works that they mentioned, all three of those movies, and I didn't see the No Beats for whatever. I've never even heard of that one. No Beasts of No Nation. But Creed, Straight Outta Compton, and Concussion, I saw all three of those, and none of those, in my opinion, were Oscar-worthy movies. No offense. Chris Rock referred to the award ceremony, so he's tweeting out the White BET Awards. He was Reverend Al Sharpton, the usual cast of characters.
I like that in that thing he's saying he's saying it's the white version of another award that flat out says Black Entertainment Award. Like, yeah, I don't know if that's ironic. To me, it kind of is.
Oh yeah, sure it is. Lots of people have pointed to the fact that Black Entertainment Television, well, whatever. Reverend Al Sharpton blasted the awards. Well, I wonder which side he's going to fall on.
I think it's positive towards the Oscars.
He blasted the Hollywood film industry in general, which he said perpetuates a fraudulent image of progressive and liberal policies and politics. Hollywood is like the Rocky Mountains. The higher up you get, the whiter it gets. And this year's Academy Awards will be yet another Rocky Mountains Oscars. Yet again, deserving black actors and directors were ignored by the Academy, which reinforces the fact that there are few, if any, blacks with real power in Hollywood.
Isn't the better argument that the opportunities aren't there and that opportunities should be given rather than sitting here and trying to fit Creed into a compelling Oscar nominee, right? You could make that argument and you could, maybe people are not given the opportunity. We don't know. Yeah. That may be true. We know it's an old boys network for sure in Hollywood and all that. So, that could be true, but to sit there and go, why not Creed? Why not NWA? Well, for the reason you just said, they're just not that good.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it'd be nice to see people, and you're right. If people are not given opportunities, which I find really hard to believe in somewhere as liberal with policies as Hollywood, California, that seems absurd. But even if they aren't, you're right. That's the argument to go after, that there's no real power. You would think Oprah Winfrey would be someone. Who's the other guy? The black guy that does all the dumb comedy movies.
Kevin Hart?
No, not Kevin Hart, but
Eddie Murphy,
Medea or whatever. Who's the guy that does all the Medea movies?
Oh, Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry, someone like that who's a billionaire throughout Hollywood. I'd like to see their works, and that's just one person's opinion. Go just make a great movie. Don't cater to one small audience. Just go make a brilliant movie and then see if the recognition comes, because those Medea movies are never going to, they're never going to hit mainstream America.
Norbert, all that crap.
Right.
Or what did I see? 50 Shades of Black.
Yeah.
By the Wayans brothers being,
yeah.
You keep making dumb shit like Snakes on an Airplane and then you're going to cry about not being critically acclaimed. Well,
yeah.
Make a
critically
dramatic movie or something
that doesn't have to just focus on the struggle. Just go make a great movie.
Yeah.
Just go make a brilliant movie. Go make The Revenant.
But are the top movie houses, led by Whitey, and there's just no way to get those good scripts to fall down or to get those good directors to be involved?
Well, that's not the argument that's being made. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's the thing. I find it hard to believe that Will Smith can't get good acting roles if he chooses,
right?
Or other people. I don't know, but it seems like that's not the argument. And the usual suspects come out to just demonize the whole thing and act like the whole thing it's got to be racist. It's just got to be racist across the board. This film that I believe in should be. I mean, the whole thing is kind of a joke anyway. To be honest with you, it is subjective, and it's stuffy nerds. They don't even have a comedy category at the Academy Awards.
Well, how's The Martian going to be involved?
Good question. The Academy
comedy. God damn it.
The Academy president, Cheryl Boone Isaacs, swiftly responded. Of course,
Boone-Isaacs.
Yeah,
love it.
Of course, I am disappointed, but this is not to take away the greatness of the films nominated. This has been a great year in film. It really has across the board. At the Academy's Governor Awards last month, Boone Isaacs announced a new diversity initiative called A2020, a 5-year mentorship and training program that aims to bolster diversity efforts across the film industry. There you go, Jay. What do you always say? Just form a committee.
Form a committee,
God
man.
damn it.
Buy some time.
All right, we got 5 years.
Well, make the. You're right. Well, if you
Make
the
an
committee,
agenda, have your first meeting, in third quarter 2016. We'll move forward.
Sounds like a reasonable effort.
These things are going to take
as long
time.
as they can just get to February, get the Oscars, get this year's over, worry about next year, right?
Yeah.
It's going to take time.
Yeah. And we're giving ourselves 5 years. And hopefully in 5 years you can come up with an Oscar-worthy movie and we'll nominate it. The 88th Academy Awards. So let's see. Best Picture.
Best Picture?
Picture, yeah. So the nominated ones were The Big Short, good movie. Bridge of Spies, I didn't see. Brooklyn, I didn't see. Mad Max Fury Road, didn't see, but I figured that's a reboot.
Mad Max is up for Best Picture?
Yeah.
Really?
The Martian.
A reboot of Mad Max is up for Best Picture?
Yeah, I mean,
I think these African-American folks have an argument here.
But
Why not Creed?
Yeah.
Why not Creed, a reboot of Rocky?
Didn't Stallone get nominated for something in that? I thought he got.
I don't know. I'd have to.
Anyway, but also nominated The Martian, The Revenant, Room, Spotlight. So I'm telling you right now, The Big Short, The Martian, Revenant, Room, and Spotlight.
Really
one of those is going to win. Yes, those are the ones I saw. Those are good movies. Actor in a leading role: Bryan Cranston for Trumbo. Matt Damon for The Martian could absolutely win. DiCaprio is a home run. I guarantee he wins for The Revenant. Guarantee it. Michael Fassbender is Steve Jobs. People raved about his performance in that. Eddie Redmayne, the Danish Girl. People raved about his performance. Who do you take out and who do you include in that list? Who's getting fucked? You know what I mean? You're going to put Ice Cube's son in for his dynamite role as Ice Cube in the NWA biopic behind the music, essentially.
The point is, they weren't given the shot at the Leo role.
Oh, is that the problem?
Well, Denzel. Why wasn't Denzel given that?
I haven't seen Denzel in years. I don't know. No, the argument they're making is our movie wasn't nominated. This is bullshit. It's a whiteout. Well, who do you take out from that list to include someone else? Actress in a leading role: Cate Blanchett for Carol, Brie Larson for Room. I hear that's an amazing performance. Haven't seen it yet. Jennifer Lawrence. People raved about her performance in Joy. Charlotte Rampling for 45 Years, and then someone for Brooklyn. Actor in a supporting role: Christian Bale, The Big Short. Good. You could have absolutely gone with, in that movie, Brad Pitt hardly in it. You could have gone with Steve Carell's character in that movie. Tom Hardy for The Revenant, great. Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight, great. Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies, and Sylvester Stallone for Creed.
Sylvester Stallone.
That's the thing. That's
seriously.
Why is he? You could make an argument there, I guess.
I don't know, man. I could see Sly being moved out, and I could see a Mad Max reboot being moved out. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So you think they should have moved those in because there's black actors in it or black movies?
I think the Reverend has a point on this one.
Go Blacks! I would say that you could
Just
argue
fighting for equality.
I didn't see Mad Max, I guess, but you're right.
Just
you could
on
make
its
an argument.
face, man. Come on, really?
Couldn't
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Couldn't straight into Compton be in there instead of that, I suppose. But
yeah, really, yeah. Come on, Mike.
Yeah, no, I didn't see Mad Max, so I don't know. Maybe it's an amazing feature film. I bet some of the costumes. I could see that winning for like costumes or something,
but Best Picture,
explosions.
Explosions, the best explosions.
Best explosions. The nominees are, and I could see them winning that. No, yeah. Anyway, African American Oscar winners and nominees. It's quite a list. Not bad.
When was the last Best Actor or Best Actress or supporting?
Oh, they've never won that.
Supporting?
No, I'm kidding.
No, didn't Denzel win Best Actor for Training Day?
1939. I mean, back in 1939, Oscars were being handed out to black folks.
Wow.
Huh? Hattie McDonald for her unbelievable part in Gone with the Wind. We all remember it well.
Indeed.
1963.
That movie sucks, by the way.
What?
Anybody watch that? Of course, E likes it because it has to do with history.
I like I don't know. I don't love it, but I like it.
Uh,
I haven't
You ever
watched
see
it in
it,
a long
Mike?
time.
it's hard to sit through.
I couldn't even tell you what it was about.
It's hard.
I think I had to watch it for that college class I had on movies.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't.
I'd have
I
to
don't
watch it
remember
again. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it from front to back in a while.
Movies back then sucked in general.
That's the thing. If you can take away like, oh wow, this was like critical. This is Gone with the Wind. This is like epic, right? If you can set that aside and just watch it and then honestly assess it.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It wouldn't stand up today, but
I'll tell you what sucks is Citizen Kane.
Oh,
Rosebud. That movie blows.
It's a sled.
And that's
it's
another
a sled.
Spoiler alert.
Shit. Sorry, I probably should have. Yeah.
Dude, seriously, I had a similar class. I've mentioned this before at State. It was history of film and documentary.
Yeah.
Taught by the guy who wrote Top Gun.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a cool class. Like, and it was harder than you think, but I guess.
Dude, I'm telling you, the Beatles course I had and the movie class were two very hard courses. They were not as easy. It was like, oh, these will be cakewalks. I love movies and I love that band. So this is easy. No, they weren't.
But it forced me to watch all these dumb movies like I never would have, right? Like Singing in the Rain and Citizen Kane and crap like that. And that's kind of my takeaway. Like you have to also like put yourself in the period a little bit. Like, okay, I get it. There's not going to be like the great explosions and you know, it's not going to be effect wise anything like what
anything
we see.
Impressive.
So you got to like go back in time a little bit, but still God, man, you watch some of these, you're like, this sucks. I'm sorry. I don't know how this got so much pub.
Yeah, Citizen Kane was brutal. I found myself like sleeping through it.
Yeah.
Anyway, 1963, Sidney Poitier won for Lilies of the Field Best Actor Award.
Oh, wow.
82, Louis Gossett Jr. for
Louis Gossett Jr. What was he? Oh, wait. Officer and Gentleman.
There you go.
Sweet.
Officer and a Gentleman, Best Supporting Actor. 1989, Denzel won for Glory, Best Supporting Actor. 1990, this female won Best Supporting Actress.
Is it Halle Berry?
Nope.
What was her famous stupid quote? She's, oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe it. Remember that? She's standing up there just.
Yeah, that was for Monsters Ball.
Okay, yeah.
In 90.
Yeah, she got.
Or 2001.
Raped from behind, was it? Is that the famous
scene?
Yeah. Wasn't Billy Bob giving it to her
from behind? Yeah, totally. Yeah. Make me feel good.
Yeah, make me feel good. Make me feel good.
Make me feel good. Well, I'm doing my best. I'm trying to make you feel good. I'm doing what I can here. Give me a minute. Working on it. Make me feel good. Make me feel good. I'm trying.
Who can forget that scene?
Yeah. So Whoopi Goldberg for Ghost.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I would have thought Demi won something for that, but
that
Whoopi won.
Man, that was kind of a pathetic role, honestly. She was just the medium. Remember, she was communicating with the ghost.
Spoiler alert.
I'm sorry.
Cuba Gooding Jr. won for.
Oh, it's got to be what's it? The football one?
No.
Yep, no.
Was it a football?
Jerry Maguire.
That's what.
Really?
Yes.
Show me the money.
Yes.
Wow.
1996, 2001. Denzel wins again for Training Day. Best actor. Halle Berry in Monsters Ball. Jamie Foxx won in 2004 for Ray.
Yep.
2004, Morgan Freeman won. $1 Million Baby.
Okay.
Forrest Whitaker won in 2006, Last King of Scotland. Jennifer Hudson won in 2006 as well for Dreamgirls.
Honestly, when you consider that they're a minority, like if you look at the percentage that they're winning, over the last 10 years, not bad.
Yeah, I know. You
know, what do you want? Like every year you want a minority to win this?
Mm-hmm. I agree. 2009, Monique won for Precious.
Sure.
We all remember that great role. And then there's been, the nominations list is even longer. Sam Jackson for Pulp Fiction in 94. Michael Clark Duncan, I'm assuming they mean for The Green Mile. Will Smith for Ali in 2001, which I thought was an okay movie. I wasn't blown away by Ali. Don Cheadle in Hotel Rwanda in 2004. Hustle and Flow, Terrence Howard. Eddie Murphy for Dreamgirls in 2006. Viola Davis for Doubt in 2008. Taraji P. Henson for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button in 2008.
So what?
And these are all best actor, actress, or best supporting, right?
Right.
It's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
I know. Jesus.
I like that track record.
Yeah.
You should be happy, goddammit. Be happy with what you got. Go Blacks!
Hey, ring in the new year with a new home. If you've decided to buy and or sell a home this year, call Krista Jelski of Remax Suburban, and she will guide you through the entire process from beginning to end. And we close a deal with Krista. She will treat you and your family to a meal at the restaurant of your choice. Check out Krista's website at kristasellshouses.com or call her anytime at 586-918-0900.
David Bowie has the #1 album in the country.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that crazy?
You go and die, and
it's all he needed to do. Talk about kicking your career into to a whole new level. First ever U.S. #1 album with Black Star. Exactly 1 week after his death, he passed away just 2 days after the release of Black Star.
Is it any good? Have you listened to it?
No, I
haven't
either. No,
that's the key to music, though. You gotta die.
Yeah, Jackson.
You're not a helper.
Damn it!
That was utterly piercing.
Well, what'd you want?
69.
Would have been more fitting. They seem louder today. Did you turn up the volume or something?
I don't touch anything, man.
Billboard revealed yesterday that Black Star nabbed the Billboard 200's top spot. They had 181,000 album units were bought. Best of Bowie took the #4 spot. The number 21 slot was the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Adele and Justin Bieber were booted to second and third spots. Black Star has the #1 on the British album chart as well. 10 of the 40 top-selling albums announced Friday are by Bowie.
Wow, man.
Yeah. Whew. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, you mentioned Adele, man. I mean, can she be any more dramatic in every single freaking song she sings? My God.
Which one are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know their titles, just whatever the most popular, newer ones are. Like, shut up.
That album was #1 for like a month. It just dominated. You're talking about the song.
No, she's got the new one out, right?
Does she have another new one out? Another single?
I don't know.
She's got one about breaking up and meeting.
That's what I'm saying. They're all this big breakup, this big dramatic thing. Like, stop it.
Yeah. She can sing her ass off, though,
Sure
man. I'll give her that. So someone has come out. We were talking, and we pissed some people off. We were talking about Bowie the other day, and I couldn't help it. The first thing I think of is the
Jagger thing.
Yeah, the Jagger relationship that was going on. So what if he was banging Mick Jagger? It happens, right? It happens.
Whatever.
Former backup singer for Bowie claims she was the, quote, tasty filling of heated love with this love affair between Bowie and Jagger.
The tasty filling.
She was the conduit.
Yeah.
She was just there so it wasn't gay.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like when she wasn't there, maybe it was just gay.
Or maybe when she was there, it was sort of gay.
That's my point. Like, she's just there. Oh, well, we have a girl here. So
it was gay depending on where so-and-so's hand fell at that moment.
Right. 1972, Ava Cherry. She was just 19 years old, aspiring model.
Dude, imagine being 19 and being sucked into this world.
Yeah.
Wow. All of a sudden, you're getting banged by Bowie and Jagger.
Yeah.
Trying to be a model.
That's when she met Bowie. That night began a lengthy live-in relationship for the two. Cherry's stories bring up old rumors that Bowie and Jagger were, in fact, lovers. He walks over to me. He says, "Very nice to meet you, Ava." I was going nuts. He said, "You've got a unique style. I like your style."
Oh, dude.
So easy.
So easy, right?
Just like picking fruit off the tree, man. You're just like, yeah, I'll take that one.
Yeah, that apple doesn't look like it has any
something.
bruising on it. I'll take that one home for the night.
Right. Just lie about, you really bring something to this shoot.
All you have to do is tell that apple it looks nice and shiny, and then you just go ahead
and then you
take
just
a bite.
eat it. The pair went to dinner and held hands. Bowie then took her to his room at the Gramercy Park Hotel.
Wow. Because of her uniqueness.
I never would have saw that coming. He just seemed like such a gentleman.
Right. Just wanted to talk to her about the biz.
Connect.
It's weird that he would have that connection, as any of these guys do, with an aspiring model. That's the part where I was like, wow,
the stars aligned.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy. How they just stumbled into each other like that.
Yeah, how come it's not like one of the key grips or the I mean
the mopey looking grip in the other room.
The girl
just gotta
who
think about
catered
you.
the set. Right?
Yeah, how come? Yeah. How come it's crazy?
No, it's usually that.
But
model.
beauty is right.
Weird.
But beauty is it's not about just outer beauty. It's about inner beauty.
He took her to his room at the Gramercy Park Hotel where they listened to his new album.
Could you ever imagine that? Like
just like you bring a chick back.
Right.
Yeah, check out our latest YouTube.
Right.
The Detroit Cast.
Yeah, we had a big show on Friday. Just check this out. I had a good point here at 105.
Remember
awesome.
the stories of Kobe and some chick he was banging?
Wasn't he making her watch highlights of
Yeah,
his?
he would bring her to his place and he would make her watch ESPN Sports Center for the highlights of his performance that night.
Dude.
She's like, yeah, great. You dunked that ball very, very well.
Right. Can I suck your dick now?
So Bowie says he took her to his room, and then the inevitable happened. That was inevitable. I mean, the stars aligned.
They did.
Who could have seen this coming?
That just happens, man. You just don't know. He didn't plan for this.
Which was wonderful love with this man. I was totally hooked. I was gone. I wonder if that same connection would have been made with the garbage man down the street if
right.
If it would have all fallen into place like it just happened to do with David Bowie and Mick Jagger.
Yeah, I mean, if the garbage man had said, I saw one of your modeling things and very unique. You have some talent
style.
there. Yeah, I love your style.
Her response would be, "Oh, to the gross
Bye.
man. Oh,
get out
gross!
of here.
You stinks. I can stinks you from here." In the morning, some chick shows up. It's Bowie's wife, Angie, at the time, and she kisses him and hugs him. I was like, she was like, "Who is this woman?" David said to her, "This is Ava Cherry." "Oh, hello, darling. How are you?" She hung around for about 15 minutes, and then she's like, "Gotta go. Speak to you. Nice to speak to you, Ava." When she closed the door, I looked at Bowie and said, "Who's that?" He's like, "That's my wife, Angie. It's no big deal. We have an open marriage." We had this synchronicity, this connection that I had not felt with any other man.
What do you do when you're listening to when she's sitting there listening to his album? She just sits there and goes, "This is great.
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah.
Good job, David."
She said she often spent time with Bowie and his good friend Mick Jagger. I'm not going to say that I didn't make love to both men because I did. They made love to me. It's called a cookie. I was the tasty filling.
Keep telling yourself they made love.
love.
You were a hole.
You were
two holes.
You were two holes that they plugged for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then carried on with their day.
You were
Mrs. Cookie.
I don't even remember
two well lubricated holes.
If you asked him at the end of his life who this was, he wouldn't even ask him. A week ago, he wouldn't have remembered, or a week after, he wouldn't have remembered.
Yeah, try to remember all the holes he's plugged over the years. Are you kidding me? He's like a dike in a dam. Is that right? Dike in a dam, yeah.
And dike is sort of the Dutch version of a dam, I believe.
Yeah.
You're going to put your finger in the dike.
Plugging the dikes.
Yeah.
He's just plugging dikes for his whole career. His fingers in all the dikes. It was when Bowie's wife, let's see. Oh, okay, so she talks about how wonderful it was. Everybody on their respective side of the beds being respectful.
Of course.
You know, so she's just getting it over here. And then she's like, "Oh, I need to be respectful to Mick Jagger. Getting it over here. And then getting it over here."
Of course.
He'd retool and she gets more respect over here. And then more respect over here.
What about some respect in her mouth?
Yeah, she respected. Yeah, she got some respect in her mouth. And then Jagger retooled and she took some respect in her mouth from him. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Anal respect.
Lots of anal respect.
Some anal satisfaction.
I don't know why that's so.
Yeah, I see what you did there, James.
I see. Oh man, I made myself laugh.
It was wonderful, just like it should have been. In her 93 book, Backstage Passes, Life on the Wild Side with David Bowie, Bowie's ex, Angie made veiled suggestions that Jagger and Bowie were banging. It was when Bowie's wife at the time, Angie, came home one day in '73 to the house she shared with him that she made the claims that the real nature of Bowie and Jagger's relationship was revealed when she found them in bed together.
Is this the Rolling Stones, Angie?
It's got to be, right? Yeah. Angie. So, yeah. Anyway.
Wow, dude.
Well, if you're getting it 4 or 5 times a day, I'm sure you get a little adventurous, right, Mike?
Sure.
Well, like you said,
It happens.
Eventually you got to, you get it all the time. So
Getting it all the
eventually there's
time,
something.
it's
What's
like,
next, right?
Yeah. It's like, all right, I've done heterosexual vagine and ass and mouth. I don't know,
Hand.
8 million times.
Mm-hmm.
Why not a hairy butthole? I guess.
I mean, a man butthole.
Is that how the thinking goes?
Yeah,
I bet you're
think
right. I
if
think it
you
just
get-
becomes that it's not even. They don't even see it like it's just kind of like whatever.
Yeah, you're doing
I
types
think
of drugs. You're just like,
the world is your oyster, as they say.
yeah. Who knows? Maybe there's something to this, and you just put it in there.
I mean, it really is at that level. When the game is at that level, there
is no
there is nothing to stop you from just living out your wildest fantasies. It's like, well, I think I mean, and this has been detailed. This is not a Bowie exclusive thing. This is entertainment across the board. You read Motley Crue's book, and it's like, well, let's bring this chick in. Let's stuff a phone in her vagine and make her call her mom and see if she can talk to her mom through the phone in her vagine.
Right.
And it's just like,
take it to the next level.
Yeah, you've got a group of guys. So basically, if you don't have someone that can offer up any resistance on any level and go, no, I don't want your dick in my ass. Get out of here, you pig. Like, if you don't have that on every level, what's to prevent a guy from going, why not? I'm shoot for the moon here. Why not? Let's see where we.
Yeah, because there's no game, right? It's not. You're not pursuing chicks at the bar, having to like.
And if you put up no resistance over time, you might just end up with a phone receiver in your vagine.
Right.
Let that be a lesson.
I mean, it could happen. Now, granted, it's love and all that. The connection's been made and it's real and all that.
Very unique and very whatever.
Yeah, but it might just happen.
I see a lot in you. I
see a lot in you. Very, very talented. It's very nice to meet you.
Right.
Now, back to my hotel room where I can triple team you with my boys.
I can totally see that, where they're not even necessarily gay and they're just like, I've had it so many times up that side and down the other. What the hell?
Yeah,
and like you
why
said,
not?
The drugs too.
Yeah.
You're sitting there doing coke,
just trying to get a new high or a new twist on that high.
Yeah,
I could totally see them doing that crap.
It's awesome. It's fun to read about. Anyway, why don't we take a quick timeout? We're learning some more stuff about some interviews have gone on with the group that did the Stephen Avery making of a murderer,
right?
Making a Murderer documentary on Netflix. Tell you about that. We got some Wisconsin lawnmower factory. Be answering some questions.
They're in a pickle.
They are, so to speak. We'll do that and much more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's me, one of the football gods. I decide if the ball bounces your team's way or not. And there's no better place to watch me work than Twin Peaks. That place is football heaven, and I should know. I'm a god. The beer selection at Twin Peaks is divine, pun intended. Tons of choices, including local craft selections served at an icy 29 degrees. Throw in HD action in every direction, and you've got pigskin paradise. So spend this season at Twin Peaks. I command it.
Friends, it's me again, Steve Gabarro, the general manager at Zott Ford and Holly. The nasty cold grip of old man winter is upon us, and there's no better way to beat it than driving a new F-150 from Zott Ford. Lease a new 2015 F-150 Super Cab XLT 4x4 for just $288 a month, zero cash due at signing. Or you can buy a new 2016 Ford F-150 for as low as $24,200. Yes, I said buy a new F-150 for as low as $24,200. Folks, these deals are hotter than the water in Big E's mop bucket. So please hurry down to I-75 at exit 98 to take advantage of these smoking hot deals before they take a knee like Big E.
Continues now, bitches. Getting fucking done.
The directors of the Making a Murderer documentary have revealed that Stephen Avery hasn't seen it. He tried and was denied.
Is his
Prison
CD
officials.
player dirty?
Yeah, CD player's broken. No, the prison officials were like, yeah, no, I don't think so. You don't get to watch that. Which I don't know how surprising that is, but the directors, Maura Demos and Laura Riccardi, were already we're talking too about the possibility of a part 2.
Really?
Didn't we mention that when we talked to the family?
What would you do in a part 2, Mike?
Well, it seems like in order to do a successful part 2, like it's playing out in real time. So you would
more
have
needs to happen, right?
Yeah, you can't just be like, well, he's still sitting in jail. I mean, you're talking about a documentary that you'd have to wait another 10, 15 years for, depending on how this plays out.
Put some sad music under it. We'd all feel bad for him again.
The story is ongoing. These cases are open. We're ready to follow these if there are significant developments. Since the series aired, as we know, and followers of this show are well aware, that thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people have signed petitions to Barack Obama asking him to pardon Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey. Say he has come out and denied that, saying that the case is a federal issue, which we knew. Meanwhile, fans have poured over the evidence presented in the documentary. Some have come out to defend him. Others have accused these filmmakers of bias.
Did Obama really make a comment?
Yeah,
they'll through his people.
Yeah, they'll make comment on anything that gets over 100,000 signatures.
Right.
That's the rule. So when it got 300,000 signatures,
yeah, you're gonna have to get with Scott Walker, and he's not gonna do dick.
Yeah, it's not a federal issue, which is where my authority would come in, and he wouldn't do dick in that case. I would hope that he wouldn't just go, yeah.
He wouldn't listen to the people.
No,
the tribe has spoken.
No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't, anyways. One of the producers said that addressing that as far as bias goes, she said, I think what we're seeing now is history repeating itself. It's now on a national scale where the media is demonizing this man. We showed Stephen Avery, warts and all. Just because someone is coming forward now with a narrative doesn't mean their interpretation of something is accurate or true. Avery's lawyers, Dean Strang and Jerome Buting, have insisted that the real message of the documentary is not about Avery. They say the film was intended as a way to examine America's justice system and its flaws, rather than hone in on one particular case and the facts surrounding it. I would argue that, no, you absolutely honed in on one case and the facts surrounding it.
Yeah. Those guys, though, I felt like their message was broader the whole time. They had a lot of one-on-one with the camera.
Yeah.
Where they were talking about principles of justice overall.
Yeah.
So that might be their viewpoint of it.
Yeah, but which is a little weird too, because they weren't the filmmakers. So for them to come out, that could be what their portion of that documentary was. But the truth is that documentary was very much about one person and one person's case. Now, you could absolutely do a documentary that's a 10-part series to a million-part series about injustices in the criminal justice system, where you just take this week's episode focuses on
this black guy
that was wronged, or these evil white people that wronged this black guy. You could do that from here to eternity, probably. So, but this one was specifically on that. So I don't know how you go forward with something like that, because unless this plays out in some real way, like there's another trial, I don't even know if it's worth doing a full documentary series on, because Brendan, it sounds like, will get another trial and follow that one.
Well, according to his current lawyer, yeah, that's what they're hoping. Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, something big needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I think people are following it so closely right now. Like they know the minutia that's happened since it came out.
Yeah.
So I don't think a season 2 would do very well.
I
think we've had enough. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the crooked cops. Yeah.
They're all crooked.
Hey, we got to tell you about our buddy, David Helm.
Please
This segment is brought to you by Helm Law. Helm Law is a full-service law firm built on the model of providing the best legal service to its clients throughout Michigan. It represents clients in a wide range of cases, including family law and divorce, civil litigation, estate planning, and criminal defense. So whether you're leaving your children in a hot car or your spouse is refusing to put out, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com. They offer free consultations. Tell them you support the show and you get 15% off.
Dozens of Muslims are outraged.
What happened?
We're a country of outraged people.
What happened, Mike?
Well, a Wisconsin power plant threatened to fire them if they took 2 5-minute breaks daily in order to pray. Yeah.
Sounds like religious discrimination, Mike.
Well, it affects
treading into dangerous territory.
It affects 53 workers. 10 employees have indicated they wish to stay in their current positions under the new policy, but the rest have chosen to leave or are planning to leave. I don't want this job anymore. The company changed the rule on Thursday. Until then, Muslim employees were allowed to leave the production line twice a shift to pray.
All at the same time, I would assume, right?
Yes.
There's a certain time that you're called to prayer.
Arians is the company. They're now asking employees to pray during scheduled breaks. A company rep told a local TV station, the manufacturing environment does not allow for unscheduled breaks in production. The council
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Wait, Arians, you said lawnmower?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That rings a bell. I've seen like snowblowers, Arians.
The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CARE, weren't they the ones that were designated a terrorist group?
They were the ones who spoke out right away after San Bernardino.
Yes.
Like, don't judge us all.
Mm-hmm.
And then the backlash from that was, oh yeah, well, guess what? You're a terrorist group.
Yeah. By who was deemed them a terrorist group? Don't remember. I can't remember, but it was like an international organization.
Right.
They said they called on Arians to allow Muslim workers to pray at work using the previous policy until the dispute is resolved. A spokesperson for Arians said, we're asking employees to pray during scheduled breaks in designated prayer rooms. Our manufacturing environment does not allow for unscheduled breaks in production. It is not in the Muslim tradition, however, to pray during meal times.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real problem.
The problem for the employer, though, is you have to give accommodation, but to the extent it's not like an undue hardship, you know?
Right.
And their point is, look, we're producing stuff here. It's kind of important to have the line keep moving.
Right.
So you can understand the employer's little pickle there.
It's not the if someone tells you you pray on your break and the break time is not the prayer time, it will be impossible to pray. So what do you do? It's impossible to pray.
It's not impossible, but the prayer just doesn't count, apparently.
Is God not listening at certain times of the day? Is that what I'm led to believe here? Is that the deal? I don't know. Is maybe God's got a sign on the wall like closed for business between these hours, and you need to pray at very specific times. Ibrahim Mehmed said he was handed an unemployment slip when he prayed during his usual time. Whew. So they're just doling out pinkies.
Ibrahim.
He said, we pray by the time. So they say, if you don't pray at break time, they give us unemployment paper to just leave. I've been 35 years in America, and I've never heard of a company that is not allowing its employees to pray 5 minutes.
I wonder, like, what percentage these employees, what percentage of the workforce they make up? You know what I mean? If there's 53 of them, like, what's the whole shift? Like 150? Is it 80? What is it?
8,000? Yeah, who knows? I'm not sure. Allow me to pray that so I can go back to work and do what I love to do, which is working for Arians. That's what you love to do? Is work on lawnmowers on a production line?
Right.
All right, teach their own. But we're not allowed to do that. Yesterday, what happened was just a travesty. The company met with Somalian employees in order to suit their needs. The company put a considerable amount of effort into finding a resolution that allows for employees of Muslim faith to pray during work hours. We met with Somalian employee group to better understand their needs and consulted with local reps of the Muslim faith. An employer, by the way, as you know, the EEOC and the law, an employer does not have to accommodate an employee's religious beliefs or practices if doing so would cause undue hardship to the employer, such as decreased efficiency.
Yeah, they're playing with fire, though, man. The EEOC is just hell-bent on pushing, the liberal agenda concerning, religion and race and all that. So, yeah, no, this is going to be a shitstorm for them.
Why don't you just, like all of them just fake, I got a shit, and then go to the bathroom, face east, and take your 5 minutes twice a day and just do that.
Mike, you shouldn't have to do that.
Well,
it should be accommodated.
Well, in other countries, you don't have to do that. But, here with what production lines and all.
Aryans can take their stuff to Mexico and produce it there.
Is it fitting that their name is Aryan?
I know. There's some irony there.
Yeah, just a bit.
No, it's a tough position, right? And it's the same thing with like disabilities. There's an obligation on the employer's part to accommodate certain things, and part of you just thinks like, screw that. It's the employer. They should be able to do what they want. But the other side is, well, there's people who really do have a need for this, and to an extent, you ought to have an accommodation if it's not an undue hardship. And like, I remember representing some employers who were like, no way are we putting a stool here. No, our people stand. They're going to greet the customer standing. They're not going to have a stool. And it's like, why? Why not just let them sit on a stool?
Yeah,
if that's what they're demanding.
Yeah.
And we want uniformity. And if they want a stool, everyone else, okay, then give them all a stool. Like, what's the big deal?
What's the big deal then? I mean, they should also be able to argue then down the road that we feel like call to prayer should be pumped through the sound system here. I mean, what's the big deal for 5 minutes twice a day? Call to prayer blares through the thing. We just knock out our prayer really quick, and then we all get back to work. And by the way, down the road, I mean, honestly, we're very, very insulted and offended that women have their faces uncovered. So if you wouldn't mind while at work, what's the harm if you just, grimace up and let's get on with our lives?
That's a legit argument, Mike. Like, what is the harm if she's grimaced up on the line?
Yeah.
If it's not gonna get in the way of her ability to plug, the spark plug in and all that crap, then what is the harm?
I mean, if they have to be here, if we have to have these vile pigs women on the line with us, then why not cover them?
Oh,
up?
I thought you were saying an actual Muslim. You're going to cover.
No, you're
up
talking
all
about
the
everybody,
Americans.
isn't he?
Oh yeah, I'm just saying
okay.
because it's offensive. I want all the Americans covered up too. I mean, why not?
The principles behind
it, or
it,
the way you thought it,
reasonable accommodation and then undue hardship. It's like, where do those things meet? Where do they intersect?
Yeah, and I imagine you lawyers.
The problem is the EOC is so pushing hard on these issues. They had huge mandate from Obama to go after all this stuff as soon as he got in office. So it's a serious problem, man. That's like you might have one or two issues like that, but you've got 53, 56 people complaining of this. They're effed.
You think the company is?
Yeah, they're going to have to bend over.
I totally see their argument. When you're talking about a production line, think about the way a production line works.
Yeah, I mean, but that's why I asked like what percentage of the workers they are, because if they're a small percentage, well, plug in a helper behind them. You can keep it going that way, or make that your break time.
But the problem was,
if there's only 80 employees and 53 of them need this, make that your break time.
But didn't you hear that they couldn't pray during eating time?
I said make that your break time. Move your break time
to
when they need the prayer.
I know. I thought that was a point, though. I thought then never mind. Then they wouldn't have a time to eat, I guess, is my point.
Eat during that break time. Move it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you say
if it's 10:30 and 2:30 that you need to pray, okay, then guess what? Your two new breaks are 10:30 and 2:30.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if they're like just a sliver of the production line employees, then they're probably the employer is going to be pressed to let them do this, because like you've got all these people here, you can keep your production line going.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, they have a business to run. You'd have a better argument saying they're racist or they're religious, they're xenophobic, whatever, because they won't hire Muslims.
I know, isn't that something? So they hired all these Muslims, and then this is what you get, right?
Yeah. And it's like, we're trying to make accommodations, but our production line is getting fucked with. This is costing us real dollars in real world terms.
No, and I'm sure there's plenty of plant managers looking at it going, yeah, that's why I don't hire Muslims.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Right. I don't need the headache from this. I don't need the potential fallout from this. It's a tough one. I mean, it doesn't seem like a tough one to me, but I understand why in the country it's a tough one. Anyway, we'll see where that goes, but maybe they can just call the prayer in through the building.
Get it done that way.
Yeah, just knock it out. Just drop to your knees, faced east, bang, knock it out while it's blaring over the sound speakers. And,
if you don't want to take part, you just
I'll make an accommodation.
Hit your e-cig or whatever you do during that point.
Yeah, smokers, by the way, they run out. I mean, they got to have their 5-minute nick breaks, right?
5 minutes, right?
25 minutes, whatever. Anyway, traveler on a flight. We've all been on flights.
We have.
Right?
I've been on
We've all been in those tubes.
Tubes filled with demons.
With demons. Demon flights.
I'm supposed to talk to God with the demons around me.
Lord's talking to me now. I'm in this tube filled with demons. One guy was on a plane and he said someone was farting so bad that it was killing him.
You guys ever done that? Ripped ass on a plane just continually?
Well,
really? You're that guy where you're just
no,
really,
I'm just gonna let it fly.
What are you supposed to do? Are you wishing a
planes.
bellyache on me? Are you wishing a bellyache on me? Why would you do that? I didn't do anything to you.
I'm not saying like hurt yourself holding it in, but one of those guys where you're just like, screw it, man, I don't care. Just letting them fly.
This is for all your enjoyment.
Like, are you that shameless? Like you don't care that the guy next to you like totally knows it's you?
I've definitely had those times where it's like, this could go one of two. This could go one of two ways. I think if I just keep myself closed and don't move at all, maybe no one will notice. And then you realize quickly that didn't happen.
It's like seeping down your pant leg and up. It's going through your neck and your in your hoodie.
Yeah,
it's just wafting.
Warm in
out.
here.
Yeah, it's got to escape somehow.
Yeah.
Your jeans aren't that porous, but it'll find a way out.
This guy actually hands the flight waitress, whatever.
The flight waitress.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, toots. Hey, sweet tits.
Yeah, the chick with the nice
flight
ass.
attendant.
The flight attendant. Thank you. The flight waitress, whatever.
You're right, though. That's it, man. Boil it down, right? It's a flight waitress.
Yeah. They
We're going
to
to bring the cart through. And
what about the safety measures, Jay?
Sure.
Well, yeah, that's like the waitress coming by your table and going, I'm sorry, sir, this is a non-smoking restaurant.
Yeah.
It's like that. Occasionally you have to make those. Yeah, she's not delivering food at that moment, but she's still doing her duties as a waitress.
Did they do anything live in terms of safety anymore, or is it just all on the video?
The last couple flights I've had were on video, unless they were an old-ass flight.
Yeah.
I was on one of those, the flight I went to California, like I had a new plane going there, and then coming back, it was some rickety-ass piece of shit.
So
it was
she
in a
stood up there
1970.
Did the
yeah,
whole
and she did the
buckle.
whole buckle thing. Yeah. So this guy hands the flight waitress a napkin and written on it is, I don't know if you can make an announcement, but if you can, you should say that whoever is farting in the areas of rows 10 to 12 should definitely see a doctor because they might have ass cancer.
They have cancer. Can tell by the smell.
The one professor who probably has horrific gas, Jacob Rosenberg, he's from the University of Copenhagen. He's a critical professor, said the average amount of times a person breaks wind each day is exacerbated in the air due to a drop in cabin pressure.
Oh, wow.
So he's justifying. Yeah. And we all remember that story. Was it last year or the year before of the goats? They had 186 goats on that 747 and were farting so bad they set off the smoke alarms and they had to bring the plane down.
Wow.
Because they could not stop ripping ass. I mean, there were no people on this, just goats.
Animals don't care.
Nah, animals don't give a shit at all. They're animals.
Right.
Animals.
They fart a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't I see somebody brought a turkey on as a, what do you call that?
Support animal?
Yeah.
Yes.
What the hell? A gobbler. There's a gobbler just sitting in 4A.
Yeah. This is going to have really bad consequences at some point. This is cute right now, the story of this. Like, you see it. You don't see it so much in Detroit airports, but when I was in California, you just see these assholes walking around with their dog, just on a leash.
Yeah.
And they're all under this fake, oh, it's a support animal. They're just shopping and they're just walking through all the little stores. Fuck you and your kids if you're allergic to dogs. Who cares? I need support from my animal.
They just don't want to put it in the aft cargo hold.
No.
Yeah, they want it sitting on their lap.
And so they're just walking around and you see these you can tell these socialite bitches, with their little dogs.
God, and their purses almost.
And they're just, usually they'd be carrying them around, but no, they're just got them on leashes. Oh, me and my 2 dogs just walking through the airport.
What happens if the dog takes a shit there? Like,
yeah, that's what dogs do. But people
pick up a little turd and wipe up its pee in the middle of an airport.
I guess they would.
I wouldn't want any part of that.
No, I wouldn't either. But yeah, people bringing turkey. The people are abusing the rule, and so some asshole brings a turkey on the plane, and it's like a full-size turkey. It's not a wee baby turkey. It's a big-ass turkey, and the thing's just looking up like, what are we doing here? He's never been on a plane before. I'm just here. Well, what's going on? Why are you putting a belt on me? And he's just sitting in his own chair, probably terrified.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be in a penned area, maybe a little grassy, perhaps a little dirty. And now he's finding himself on a tube full of demons. What are we doing all the way up here? That mask is never going to fit my face if there's a problem with the air pressure.
What could the person possibly be thinking?
It's a support animal. Remember the lady that brought that humongous pig?
Yes.
I mean, the thing was huge. And then there was the dog that got nervous and shit every 5 minutes of the flight. I think they had to bring that flight down.
Yes, you're right.
Because it could not stop shitting in the aisles.
No, something's going to go terribly wrong, as you said. Somebody's going to have that lion cub who takes a head off.
Yeah.
Or a fidget who's not properly leashed.
Or trained. I mean, can you even train them properly? I mean, you can do what you can do, but, ask Roy about, he had everyone believing that he trained his tigers not to eat him.
Yeah.
Until it ate his neck.
You get a
almost
fidget
to death.
who hasn't had its claws removed or
its teeth sharpened down or sanded down. Man. Yeah, it's a dangerous,
an aggressive,
dangerous,
hungry fidget on a plane.
Oof. Yeah. No, it's terrible. But I don't know how they get around the allergy things. Like, that's a real thing. People are allergic to dogs. But Beth's nephew has horrible allergies.
They would probably move him or whatever.
You're in a tube in the sky. Like, now you're putting it on me with my baby to like only walk in certain areas of the plane because I don't know where your dog is relocated to and my kid's horribly allergic to it.
All of a sudden, Mike has put more value on a baby than a dog. This is a rare moment.
Well, I think it's more on the idea of where it's going, and I think he just
I just think it's by trying to be so inclusive to everybody. What are you going to do when some dog? Because you see it at the dog park. The dog park, these dogs are playing, and then all of a sudden one dog doesn't like another dog and just and just goes after it.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Dog park problems. I don't know.
Well, and like
about.
you said, dogs.
Yeah.
What happens when someone decides that a lion cub they need that or they need
They let a turkey
snake
on board, for God's sakes.
You need to take that, Hollywood.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, big stuff.
Let me check that.
More important business to attend to. My phone is blaring as we're doing the show.
Douglas should know better than to call me during the show.
Yeah.
My God.
Hey, so remember, if you're a young, attractive female teacher who's eager to brighten her students' future, or if you have been injured at the Fady Manor and looking to cash in, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com to set up your free consultation. Tell them you support the show. You'll get 15% off.
When we were at the dog park, one of the dogs, like there were a bunch of dogs playing and chasing balls and frisbees, and one of the dogs comes running up, stands right at one of the beagles, of course. One of the beagles comes jogging up, and Beth has her back to this dog, and it comes up and just lifts its leg and whizzes on her boot.
Oh,
now, this is as good a place as any to take a whiz. I gotta go now, so here we go. She's like,
it's the beagle.
Oh my God, the dog is pissing on my leg, and everyone's like, oh, I'm so sorry. That's horrible.
Just a free for all these dog parks.
Oh, absolutely.
Free for all. Have you checked out the one at Clarkston and Baldwin up in Lake Orion where living is vacation?
I have not.
I hear it's a spectacular park. I've ridden my bike near there, and it's a big, spacious park.
Yeah.
If you need a new place to take
in the dog park, do you have to pick up the poop then, or is it? You still pick it up. It just is a big grassy area.
What are the basic rules to this park? You just go inside the fence and let it go. No rules.
Yeah, they have
the poop.
They have like a double door, so you go in this door,
Familiar.
close it. Yeah, okay. I didn't know. You don't have dogs, and then as soon as you go, literally, you just take the collar off, and they're like, they're gone. They're running, and you bring toys. Some people didn't bring enough toys, so they had to steal Izzy's toys, which is kind of rude.
Frowned upon.
In my opinion,
so there's more unwritten rules than express rules.
They just let them go, and people just show up with their dogs and let them go. And for someone like Izzy, I can get out there with a football or a ball and just chuck it as far as I can, and she'll just beeline for it.
Now, what if somebody starts banging Izzy? Let's assume it's a dog.
Well,
what do you do then? What's the rule?
I would throw a ball at him personally, but I'd grab him by the hips. You get out of here.
Would you?
And pop him out of there. Yeah.
I wonder what. Yeah.
Is Izzy fertile?
No, she's fixed.
So maybe you just let it finish. Why upset the whole sequence?
I don't want some guy thinking he can just toss his seed all willy-nilly in Izzy.
Oh, he's got a little parental feeling here.
That I don't want the dog being raped over and over again by a bunch of dogs at the dog park.
Maybe she liked it. Yeah.
I mean, especially if it's another dog.
I don't have a
punched
problem
in the face. I mean, she's, you know,
but it's another dog too.
They're making love.
That's just with Izzy. Like if it's banging another dog, I don't mind pulling her out of Izzy or pulling him out of Izzy and plugging him into another dog.
Do you ever have the urge to kind of set up the two dogs that really don't match? Like grab a Great Dane and a Chihuahua.
Chihuahua?
Yeah, little Chihuahua. Like make that love connection.
Yeah, I could see doing that.
Like, you know, you got the female Great Dane and you just kind of
a Huadane?
Perch that little hua. Maybe you hold the hua.
Oh,
you know? So you just help it along.
So how do you get him warmed up? Do you
E?
I don't know.
Do you just start rubbing him on the Dane?
Get the lipstick tube out.
Gross.
No, does this go on at these parks? Just free for all open sex?
I saw
Like
a lot of defecating and whizzing. I saw some nipping and barking. Some howling out of
like
the
Woodstock. I mean, is this just like free?
I
love
didn't
everywhere?
see a lot of that, but it was cold out too. A lot. I mean, it was.
Is it really fun to go
cold.
to the dog park?
For the dog? It is. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, the adults talk and oh my god, your dog is so cute. Oh my god, your dog is so cute. You can see which ones have better parenting skills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it weighs out like it's.
So I'm assuming people were all judgmental of you and your parenting skills.
No, Izzy's very well behaved at those things.
It's probably similar to taking kids to like a mall open play area.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Very much so. Letting the animals run.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're like there's Tommy, you know, hitting the kid in the head with his shoe, and
yeah.
Then there's, you know, Joey and Francis
such a weird
being
thing, I
good,
guess.
you know, just playing off to the side on their own.
A mall with its like.
Oh, those things are disgusting. Man.
They've got to be. They've got to be gross. It's been a while since I played in one, I guess, but
should we get to some email?
I think we should. First, we got to tell you a little bit about Twin Peaks, Mike. This portion of the Detroit Cast is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Why spend time sitting in traffic going to the game when you could spend the afternoon watching the game in the ultimate sports lodge, Twin Peaks? At Twin Peaks, you won't find the standard menu of frozen foods that go out of a bag and into a fryer. You'll find the best kitchen in sports that's making everything from scratch right down to their ranch. Catch every big game at your local Twin Peaks. Good food, cold beer, big screens. Mike, Cam writes in with a really good idea, I think. This is one of the better ideas listeners had in a while. The king, the cult leader, the mongoloid, the nerd. Yesterday, someone wrote in posing a theory of what happened to E's phone. I love the idea of people writing in with their theories of what could have happened to this thing until the tard just comes clean and tells us what happened to it.
yeah, go ahead. I'll get more stubborn then.
For my first entry, says Cam, since E has at least hinted that there is some level of disappointment from his mom, I can't help but think that she found something on the phone that was not to her liking. My theory is that E made plans with some filthy hooker, set his phone down. Said filthy hooker called or texted back, and E's mom answered. E returns to grab his phone to see his mother standing there holding his phone, arms crossed with a disgusted look on her face, much like a teenager staying out past curfew with the family car having to hand the keys over until he could prove he was responsible again. E was forced to hand over the phone until he could assure that he would use it as a means to pick up he would not use it to pick up some random common whore. My second theory, and I like this one from Cam, I think E may have been straight up robbed by a filthy hooker. Appointment set, E arrives, hands over his money, takes his coat off, then has to head to the bathroom. When he returns to the room to have his way with said individual, he is nowhere to be found, and his coat pockets have been ravaged, phone missing. Ooh. Can we play the hot cold game on this, E?
No.
I hope more people write in with horrid ideas as to what happened until E just breaks down and coughs up the truth. This is a great idea. Keep up the work. Gents, says Cam.
I know we can't play the hot cold game, but if we were to play the hot cold game, were either of those stories hot or cold?
No, you're not. I'm not getting weaseled in with that level of questioning. And
I clearly said we weren't playing the game, but if we were,
you did ask it. Is what you asked.
If we were to play that game,
which one would be hotter or colder than the other?
Answering.
Was one of them even warm?
Moreover,
one of them was on fire.
If you're smart enough, or moreover, stuff like this is just going to give me how I tend to be. It's just going to give me more stubborn. So
yeah, he's not going to do it even harder than he's not going to do it
right
for now. Jay, step on that. That email's on fire. Just stomp that out, will you, real quick? I don't want to burn.
Which part of the email? The first one?
I'm not sure, but either way, hang on to that because I can smell the smoke. Can you guys smell the smoke?
Yeah, I do smell the smoke. Matt writes in, hey, yo, bro, no more poison H2O. Not bad.
Not bad. Better than what he came up with.
And he did that in a flat 3 seconds. Cheryl writes
How
in.
do we know that?
He told me.
Oh,
King, you mentioned that people may have the local news on in the background while getting ready in the morning. I always have the Detroit Cast on while getting ready for work. Not sure why anyone would listen to anything else in the morning. Well, thank you, Cheryl.
Good point.
Agreed. Great point, Cheryl. Kevin writes in, the King, Webster, and the quiet one talking to the mic. Thought I'd throw this story out before I forget regarding looking for money in coin slots. I think I mentioned this a few days ago. Just being a little kid and being just, it's a huge habit. And to find a quarter in a coin slot, that was enormously fun. And
did you ever get that lucky
on this, right? Yeah.
and find a quarter?
Get a quarter every now and then. You'd be like at Bonaventure or something. You'd roll up there, payphone. Oh my God, a quarter.
What were the hits? What hit more, the candy machines or the phones? Phones.
Yep. When I was young, possibly 8 years old, I used to always check for wealth in coin slots. I was with my dad in Toronto, and I was walking by a whole wall of phones, and I would toggle the coin eject arm because that's what you did, right? Coin eject and then check. Coin eject, check.
Oh, really? Would that sometimes have one in there?
It would release it, yeah. I was going down the line, possibly 15 phones, and almost at the end, I hit the eject and then bumped into the man that I had just hung up his possibly important phone call. I remember being clueless about it until the guy said that I hung up, looked right at me and said, "Hey kid, you just hung up on me." The most I could muster was a sorry as I continued down the line checking for coin. I continued on with no looking back. What a dickweed. He doesn't realize the guy's on the phone.
Oh no.
Like, really?
So the guy's got the receiver and he steps around the phone.
I guess.
Okay.
Kevin, you don't see a guy standing there?
He's a child. He's a child.
That's laser focus, man.
Yeah, it is.
Like, tink, 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 tink. Nowadays, I wouldn't think about doing this only after a few stories of needles and sharp objects being placed in coin slots. I never heard about that. Ooh. Is that a thing? People put needles and sharp objects?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I know people would do they would put like ink on the ear thing so that the next person to put the phone up to their ear would get a nice ring of. It's like the old binoculars trick.
Yeah.
Put the ink on the binoculars. And, I'm looking through my binoculars. And then Yeah.
Roberto writes in, Jam, a couple episodes behind, I just finished 501. You're discussing the Hootie Who story about the high school basketball players in the pool cues being stuffed in the butt of a fine young gentleman or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, in my previous life, I used to play a bit of pool, and the little white pieces on the pointy end of the stick are called a ferrule.
Sure.
Ferrule.
Okay.
Either way, I don't want a ferrule in my ass.
Dude. Then the tip is glued onto the ferrule, and the end of the cue is complete. Ferrules are almost always glued on. So you've got the tip to the ferrule to the stick. Mm-hmm. Any stick from $75 on to several $1,000 is going to have that glued on ferrule. But Roberto's conclusion is stunning to me. I guess it's not stunning. To weigh in on what side I would choose, gun to my head, definitely pick the side, the pinky size over the size of two thumbs. I get it, but I don't want an object like a ferrule
breaking off
ending up in my colon,
which is what happened.
Or my bunghole. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
his colon was pierced by the ferrule.
His bladder ended up having the ferrule in it. How does that happen? Is that somewhere you're just wrenching it in some guy's ass until it snaps?
Oh my!
I mean, it just seems like a gentle insertion.
Imagine the vigor with which you must be thrusting.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Because you can, pool sticks take a beating. Little kids playing pool and stuff, boom, hits the ground, the ferrule stays on.
Mm-hmm.
God,
I've never lost a ferrule.
Yeah, I've had a couple tips break on here and there, dropped just so. But that's being dropped. It's not being inserted in a thrust-like manner.
I think the rule of thumb is if you're going to have something inserted into your ass, you don't want the insertion side something that can break off.
Yeah.
That's my rule of thumb.
Do you...
What, E?
That's certainly your main concentration is to shove these word plays in anywhere they can.
Well,
if you're thinking, maybe you could do the same thing. E, if you're on the ball. On the ball?
I'm good.
Dick Fitzwell writes in about drops. I've written in before about drops. I love them. Nothing quite like a well-placed drop that relates to the topic being discussed. I noticed quite a few more lately. Did the new drop machine finally arrive? We've had a new drop machine for several months. Am I wrong?
Well, yeah. We have
much easier, quicker.
Yep.
The old one where I have to select the bank and
the
then
King
select
was being
a number.
rather babyish about the way the drops were played out. He was struggling to figure out the system, so we had to get him a new toy.
So the old machine is a set of numbers. There's just like there's 50 individual buttons on this thing, along with all these bank select and preview and loop and menu and all this crap. You have to hit several buttons in order for a drop to fire.
Yeah.
This now has them nicely displayed with different colors.
You want to show off your tools, your toys?
I need an attorney, and I need one
and they're
now.
easy. You just, hey,
No.
one of my favorites. Clipped. I know, it's clipped. Focus your eyes above, where you'll see a behemoth being removed from a 4th floor window.
One of my favorite stories ever.
Yeah. So it's much easier now, is the point.
Go Blacks!
Yeah, somebody gets maced.
Yeah, you got maced, motherfucker.
Someone's being a cunt.
You cunt!
Yeah. Hey, Amazon. Have we mentioned Amazon?
Amazon.
Amazon.
There has never been a company quite like Amazon.
Chuck Rose. The shit face over here talks.
Come on, Big E. Is that all you got?
He talks again.
Lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes.
He opens his mouth once more.
I guess I'm attracted to a dude. Why did that have to be ridiculous?
That's my dad's favorite drop, by the way.
Really?
Not that one. The one you played 2 drops ago.
Lifeless eyes, black eyes, like
come on, Big E.
Eye.
Come on, Big E. Is that all you got?
That's my dad's favorite drop.
Love the idea that your dad's listening right now.
I know.
I mean,
I don't think he's listening as much right now in California, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't get internet out there. Or?
Yeah.
No, he
busy
does,
schedule.
but he's got shit going on.
Yeah,
he's busy.
yeah.
So I don't care that much. He can't stand Big E, so
That's the thing, right?
Yeah. No, I'm
yeah,
just
we've
kidding.
heard that from a lot of people. Yeah, Dick continues in the episode where you were talking about El Chapo and started playing the Chihuahua song.
Ah, yes.
Which Chihuahua song are you referring to? This one?
Cha-cha-cha, I'm a cha-cha-cha-chihuahua. I'm the smallest dog in town. I never have to walk because they carry me around. When I am a puppy, I'm no bigger than a cup. And I get no bigger even when I am grown up. Cha-cha-cha, I'm a cha-cha-cha-chihuahua. Everybody think I'm cute. I can hear them.
that song. Yeah, he liked that. Dick thought that was some funny shit. He says, I work in a giant bullpen, so I listen with headphones. I normally manage to keep my laughs to myself, but this one made me laugh out loud. LOL for a couple of minutes. Thanks for the last, fellas. I'll do my part and keep spending on Amazon.
Chihuahua, and I'm not afraid to fight. I did a great thing one time, but he did not feel the bite. You think just because I'm tiny, so tough I am not. Peppers, they are tiny, but senor, they're pretty hot. Cha-cha-cha, I'm a cha-cha-cha-chihuahua, and I watch your
That's our Chihuahua song, E.
On that, we will save the rest for tomorrow, Mike, and bid
I
you
think I'm
adieu.
getting sleepy.
You've never made it this far in the Chihuahua song. Chihuahua.
I'm a cha-cha-cha-chihuahua, and I come from Mexico.
You hit that last note. I like
did.
that.
Yeah, you like that? Come on, Big E. Is that all you got? All right. Well,
Come on, Big E. Is that all you got?
I guess we'll call it a day there. And anything else we need to mention?
No, we're good, man.
Follow the team on Periscope. Jay jumped into Periscope action this morning.
Yeah, I meant to Periscope from the Detroit Cast. I actually did from my own account. So I
Yeah.
apologize to those who only watch the Detroit Cast
Yeah.
Periscope.
Follow on Twitter, Jay Detroit Cast, at Big E Detroit Cast, at Walters Radio, at the Detroit Cast. We're on Instagram, everything else. So share things. Check out our message board too. We've been more active on the message board, and we'll continue to be. With that, we'll call it a day. Thanks everybody for hanging with us. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you.